go over DSET, the Dell Systems eSupport tool. We're going to go over Open Manage System Administrator, or OMSA. We're going to go over the Dell Remote Access Card, PowerEdge RAID controller, and a few other tidbits along the way.
Excellent.
And so this was basically just as an introduction on the Dell systems, get you some basic knowledge on some troubleshooting with it and how to gather some system information. There's other tools that we use besides the Dell tools that we're going to go over, and I'll key in those tools as we go. We're going to learn, again, over the DSET, OMSA, DRAC, and the PERC. Generally, the DSET is a non-intrusive utility to get information. There's an advanced and there's a basic form of this. It's a snapshot of the system of how it currently is and its status, all the drives, all the batteries, the voltage, the temperatures. If you see like a temperature spike, you can assume that one of the fans is going out, and it'll report a fan outage, or variant in fan speed. It'll give you all those cool little tidbits, and it's a very, very useful tool that we use all the time. You can download it from the support.dell.com site. You'll have to go through the US version. I know earlier we had a different training, and the UK version doesn't have a direct link to this. So that's just something to keep in mind. There's a DSET for Windows. There's a DSET for 32-bit Linux or 64-bit Linux. There's also a live boot disk that you can load the Open Manage. The DSET works through the Open Manage, so if you download the Open Manage as well, you'll by default get the DSET. Just something to think of. The basic DSET will not give you any hard drive information. It won't give you any software logs or any system logs in general. It'll just give you a basic, this is the basic hardware that's in it. I'm not going to give you any hard drive information or any log information. It's not going to be any good to us. We always require to get the advanced, mainly because it will give us the current configuration of the system. Stop me if I'm going too fast or I need to go into more detail anywhere. Feel free. This is what it looks like once you have ran set. I'm actually logged into another system right now. I'll show you. With your VPN access, you guys can access any of the servers that we have up. This one included. This is a R610 that we're just using as a test bed, run software, set up for different utilities. Here is the DSET icon. And we'll install it. You can run it. We already have it installed. And this is what it's going to look like after you ran it. This is the older one. You can expand the System tab. I'll give you chassis model, serial number, any other information, host name, processors, network cards that you have installed in the system, the operating system that you have, and what version. You can go further into it, BIOS, firmware, batteries. It's very awesome utility. It makes our job really easy.
Yeah, I can see.
Then you can see the hardware logs, everything that's happened. Obviously, any red X's are something to look at. Power supply redundancy loss. We lost power supply 2. The chassis was open while the power was on. Things like this. It's something that we always want to take note of. And it goes by most recent to oldest appearance. And you can always clear these logs through a different avenue. I'll show you how to get into it. You can look at the storage, the status of the per controller, the voltage for the batteries, and all the cool little tidbits. You can see the physical drives. It'll show you the virtual disk and how they're arranged and what RAID configuration. It's really an awesome tool. Here's the software logs that you'll only get with the advanced DSET. So this is how we can differentiate if it's a hardware issue or just a software issue. Let's go back to our presentation here. So it'll create its file. You'll have to unzip it, and I'll ask you for a password once you unzip it. The password for the DSETs are always going to be Dell in lowercase letters, just for the protection of the logs. It'll be a HTML application, just like I showed you. Very easy to navigate through. OpenManage is a different utility, and it's intrusive. You can configure and manage the Dell system from it. You can change RAID configurations. You can change network configurations on the whole server itself. Let me show you what it looks like here. You open it. It will go as real-time statuses for the server. And it'll let us know any current issues. Like right now, there's some caution on our storage for the controller. And if you follow those exclamation marks, it'll tell you what's wrong with it. The firmware drive version's out. So we can go directly to the Dell website from our server, update that driver, the firmware, and take care of this issue. Let's see real-time statuses on the disk. There we go. Show us how they're arranged. Goes full details, their make, model, serial number, any pertinent information that we would need. Very cool. At the end of this whole presentation, I'm going to just kind of hand it over to you guys, see if there's anything you want to touch bases. If you want to come in and say Neil wants to play with the OpenManage. You can completely destroy the RAID. You can do whatever you want to it. That's what it's for. It's a test bed. You can break it and just let us know what you did, and we'll correct the issue.
Huh.
Installation of the Open Manage. Due to it being intrusive software, we're not really going to have you do it at a customer site. You can do it at the office. You can do it in the repair center, just so you can get used to it, and you can possibly walk through a system administrator if they're not familiar with the system. But on site, on the customer's unit, we ourselves will never touch it. We don't want to be liable for any lost data. We don't want to ruin any configurations, and then we'll get an escalated call later saying, hey, we ruined their system, we lost their data, and just snowball effect and have a good old time afterwards at being unemployed, I guess. It's got a login. I've been logged in, so anytime you want to log into them or the FA is having issues logging in, you want to tell them that it is their login for the server and the password for the server. So in our case, it's going to be administrator, work for you with a capital W. It's just further a more in-depth way to keep secure your settings and keep it from being vulnerable to inexperienced hands or people that don't belong in this server administrator system. The Dell Remote Access Card, it resides within the server. It's a lightweight computer. It's intended to help you administer your server remotely, allows you to manage the server remotely, even if the server is completely off. As long as there's power to the server, you can use this utility. The PowerEdge Expandable RAID Controller. Hardware RAID Controller utilized to reduce the cost of the server by controlling the RAID configuration separately. So let's go into them. Let me show you how to get into the DRAC. Once you VP and into our network, we have a list of IPs for all our servers. If you go to 10.0.14.14, this dot there. It's our own in-house utility. You can go to the IP list, and I'll give you a list of all the servers that we have with remote settings and their IPs and their logins and passwords if you need them. So you'll see here's our R610 that we're using, a couple other Dell units, R510, some PowerEdge 6650s. They're pretty generic Dells, so you can use the same utilities for them. And if you want to try doing a Open Manage for the 6650, you can come log in remotely to the DRAC, and you can run it that way. You can do it with the 1850. It's pretty universal throughout their PowerEdge systems, and even, I think, if I'm not mistaken, some other workstations. I can give you a list of what the DSAT works with and go from there. Here's the, let me log out, the DRAC. It'll give you some of the same information that we have from the Open Manage and from the DSAT report. The username and passwords are always root and Calvin. You want to make sure your flash drivers or your flash is up to date with the newest revisions. It's very picky. It'll give you statuses for everything within the system. It'll give you a current console view. You can console in through the DRAC as well if you don't have an actual VPN connection. Bear with me, I have a very slow connection this morning. We've been having some network issues on our end.
Yeah, similar to Oscar.
And it's very cool that you can remotely go into the server from here and you can access the BIOS. You can access the RAID controller, which all go through during the post settings while you're powering on the server. And if this console comes up, I'll be able to show you. Let's try it again. You can have up to 4 sessions of Virtual Console. Whoever opened it primarily will have control of the whole console. It'll ask for permissions for any other person than the first one that logged in. So if there's a SA that's logged in after the fact and they're having issues accessing their DRAC, that's probably one of the things that we want to ensure is that they are indeed the only users that are logged in. Oh man, this is just being terrible. Let's see if we can get it into a different system here. Let's try the start at 10 we have set up. 10.14.37.
Oscar,
Yes, sir.
why have we got color coded on this chart? Some are green, some are yellow. If they're green,
This chart, some of them, the green are verified that they're up. The yellows, you have to, we have to double check. I think the yellows are down, and the reds are definitely down, or we can't use at all.
okay.
Because they're production, as well as the black. But the greens, you can have at it. Really, you can have at it, any of them, except for our production.
We just stay with the
We
green.
rely on those. All right, I think we're going to have to go a roundabout way with this. See if we can bypass my computer. And I'll give you a good way to see how you would log in.
Uh-huh.
So let's log out from the R610. Let's get connection for our tech support.
We got nice problems again.
Yeah. Presentation was fine, but it's nice to a little bit too small.
Well, isn't this?
Oh, no, I've done all that. Also in case we was it this forward protection now.
Yeah, why not? I'm out.
What did you do?
Unblock it. Unblock the board.
There's that result.
Good. Control delete.
That's new to a bit of a spine.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's again, no, it's just used a lot. Yeah. Well, if you have problems, can't get some speaker up, then you need your computer. Customer support, isn't it? Customer support.
Okay, I'm going to have to reroute my internet. So I might lose you guys for a short moment, and I will join back if that does happen.
That works. Hit with a hammer. Yeah. You will connect now. Check when Craig comes back. It's gone again.
Okay, I think we might have to reschedule this meeting until I find out what's going on with our network. Yes, so maybe we're going to have to redo this on Wednesday, and we'll just have to push it back 2 more days throughout.
Okay. No problem.
I'll touch bases with you, Neil, on the availability for the HMC. Maybe we can make it a little, get a quick review of the Dell, and then we'll go into the HMC on Wednesday, and we'll get those knocked out. And we'll go from there, and I'll get all this sorted on our end.
Yeah, that won't be a problem.
Yeah. Let's shoot for that. We'll do a quick review on Wednesday. I'll let you guys mess around with all the settings and all that good stuff on Wednesday once it's sorted. Show you how to get into the RAID, show you how to do all those post configurations, and then we'll go through the HMC as well, if that suits your guys' schedule. So let's do that. We're going to have to follow up on Wednesday. I'm going to get this sorted. And I do apologize for such a horrible training.
Oh, don't worry. It's fine. In fact,
okay.
we should have one of the other candidates back Wednesday anyway, so it'll mostly work in our favour. I mean, there's always good side of everything.
So we'll shoot for that. Again, I do apologize, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday, same time.
No problem.
Thanks,
Oscar.
No problem. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.